一拨人，一男一女在打的，然后这3个女的就跑到马路上给他们拦了一辆出租车，拦下来之后就非要把这个男的往出租车上拖，然后同行的那个女子就觉得不可思议，以为遇到了种仙人跳。
Since ancient times, society has always valued appearance. Being attractive directly influences how a person is treated. Many men wish to be handsome, but good looks don't feed you, and sometimes they can even cause problems. Like, for example, being harassed by a group of women. Recently, something absurd happened in Hangzhou. In broad daylight, 3 women attempted to kidnap a family man. Is this a sign of moral decline or a reflection of social distortion? According to the police, there were 2 groups at the scene. The first was composed of 3 women and a man who had just met at a bar and were leaving in a taxi. The second group was a man and a woman who were also leaving a bar and trying to get a ride. The 3 women were already drunk, and upon seeing that the guy was good-looking, approached him to strike up a conversation. They exchanged quick introductions. But do you think the story ended there? Of course not. After drinking together, the 3 women tried to drag the man into their car, saying it was just for fun. The man was terrified. Even against his will, the 3 started pulling him forcefully, trying to shove him into the vehicle. The woman who was with him ran back to the bar to ask for help. Taking advantage of their drunken state, the women turned violent. The man who was with them, someone they had also just met that night, joined the fight. Obsessed with the man's appearance, the 3 women insisted on forcing him into the car. Bar staff, seeing the chaos, rushed to intervene. One of them, wearing a green shirt and with bleached hair, tried to stop the situation, but ended up surrounded and brutally attacked by the 3 women. The man who was with them also kicked the employee multiple times. Facing the violence and being outnumbered, the employee had to retreat and flee back into the bar. The man, realizing things had spiraled out of control, immediately called the police, trying to end the conflict before it got worse. He suffered a fracture and facial injuries. The assault lasted about 2 to 3 minutes, and he didn't even try to fight back. The police arrived at the scene shortly after the call. To everyone's surprise, the aggressor, the man with the 3 women, tried to pose as the victim and was actually the first to call the police, even before the bar staff. When officers arrived, they discovered that the bar employee had tried to stop the women from forcing the man into the car, believing he was being targeted in a scam, and that's why he was beaten. The man who had been with the women had already fled. According to the testimony of the 3 women, they didn't know the man who called the police. They had only been drinking with him that night. They said they were at the bar, drank too much, saw a good-looking guy, and decided to strike up a conversation. Police later found the man at a hotel. He said that after drinking, he planned to take the train back to his hometown. Seeing the women apparently in distress, he tried to help but ended up being dragged to the police station along with them. In reality, the one who suffered the most from all this was the bar employee, who had absolutely nothing to do with the situation. As punishment for their outrageous behavior, the 3 women were sentenced to 10 days of administrative detention and fined 500 yuan each. And that's when the outrage began. On Chinese social media, the case exploded. Internet users asked, if it had been 3 men trying to force a woman into a car, would they be free after just 10 days? The general feeling was one of indignation for many. The punishment was far too lenient. And what infuriated people even more, the women paid only about 500 yuan each, but the medical costs of the beaten employee were nearly triple that. The debate about reverse gender violence took over the internet. Users denounced the system's double standards. Legal experts emphasized, Article 43 of China's law on administrative penalties makes no distinction based on gender. It judges behavior. If the man had been more seriously injured, the 3 women could have faced criminal charges. They claimed to be remorseful. Currently, the 3 women and the man who was with them have been detained by police and now have their names linked to a public assault record. Here's a reminder, be careful when drinking. Apparently, men aren't all that safe at night either. And to all the women watching this video, take it easy on the booze. Regret the next day can be real, and if you're lucky, it won't make the news. So in the end, why did I bring this story to the channel? Simple. Because it's so bizarre, it sounds like fiction. But believe it, it made the rounds on major Chinese platforms as a real case, complete with video footage, police reports, everything. And even if it were made up, it would still reflect something that's becoming increasingly common. This time, the main character was a guy who, according to the women involved, was too handsome. Yes, that was their excuse. But let's be honest, that could have just been a convenient line to soften the situation or dodge a more serious accusation like a scam attempt or false charge. And those tactics are, unfortunately, becoming more and more common in some Asian countries. The point is, the guy was cornered. If he fought back, he could be accused of assault. If he went along with them, he risked falling into a trap. If he did nothing, he got beat up, which is exactly what happened. And when it all blew up, the punishment was basically symbolic: 10 days of detention and a 500 yuan fine. That barely covers the cost of bandages for someone who got kicked. Now imagine if it were 3 men dragging a woman into a taxi. It would have made international headlines. And the punishment? Probably 10 times harsher, as it should be. This case shows that it's not just in the West where justice has a double standard. And this isn't some battle of the sexes rant, it's just the truth. When the fear of falling into a trap outweighs the desire to connect, it's only natural that more and more men are stepping back, not out of hate, but out of self-preservation. And that's the scariest part. The feeling that you could get screwed over just for existing in the wrong place, at the wrong time, with the wrong face. Because, yes, the bar employee, who had absolutely nothing to do with the situation, was brutally assaulted just for trying to help. And the guy who got approached by those women? He got thrown into the chaos and beaten up for nothing. If "he was too handsome" starts becoming an excuse for anything, then good luck to anyone who's supposedly too good looking. Now I want to hear from you. What would you have done in his place? Run? Pretend to faint? Or just accept your fate and pray to survive? Drop a comment below, because honestly, even giving an opinion these days feels risky. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Here, we talk about what no one else wants to, with irony, critique, and a touch of reality. See you in the next video.